Well, hello once again. I'm glad to have you all back. I'm kind of hoping this video won't be quite so long. I'm just not up to snuff today. I don't feel like making a long video, so we'll just kind of push right forward and get her done. We're going to be looking at the second IF transformer. And I'm not going to show you all the wire hookups and all that stuff. You've already seen that in the last one. And but I did tell you there is a difference between the second IF and the first IF. Everything inside this dotted line is inside this mess right here. And you'll see two resistors, a 2 meg ohm, which is color-coded green by Atwater Kent, and a 1/2 meg ohm, which is color-coded black and purple. Those two resistors are right buried down inside there. I hope you can see that. They're side by side. There's the green one. I don't know if you can make that out or not. There's the green one. And there's the black and purple one next to it. Now they're pretty tight down in there. And before I just go ahead and yank them out, my initial thought was to go ahead and yank them out and put them in, put new ones in. Again, it's more of a preventive measure than anything else. I don't want to have to open this can again, so why not just change the resistors out now, and I know that they'll be good. So when I got looking at this, I said, boy, that's awfully tight down there. I don't know if I want to be really messing with that. Incidentally, when I handle these transformers, I always try, see this metal here? I try to handle it from a platform of some kind. I don't try to handle the wires. Stay away from the wires. You can pick it up by this top up here, okay, and look around. You can pick it up from this nut down here and this shaft, and spin it around. Primarily, I try to find something in the center. There's a good solid ring of metal right there, I can grab it like that, and that way I stay away from all the wires and associated connections. So you can move them around quite a bit. It won't hurt them a bit. Just don't go, just don't, gorilla the thing. This is a delicate item in your radios. Alright, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and test the resistance of those two resistors. Remember, I need one to be 2 megs and the other one to be 1/2 meg, or 2 million ohms and 1/2 million ohms. So let me set that up. We're going to go ahead and check the green resistor first. That's that one right down in there. Right down here. That's the 2 meg. Okay, get up there close. And I've got the wire hooked. I got the positive lead of my multimeter hooked to one side of it. Now the other side of that resistor is connected to this black wire that runs on up here and connects to this connection right there, which is ground. Okay, that black wire runs up here, connects to ground, which is the bottom side of this round disc you see right here. The bottom side is connected to ground down through this bolt, just like it was on the other IF transformer. So what we're going to do is we can just go ahead and touch. We have the wire, right now I got the wire hooked right here to this side of the resistor. All I got to do is find ground anywhere. So why poke around down here and take any chances? Let's just go to the bolt and see what happens and watch the multimeter. Remember, we're looking for 2 megs. Alright, let me get this where we can see it a little better. I can't see it very well right there. .51. It's over a little bit. Over quite a bit, actually. Alright, let's test the other resistor. Alright, we're going to test the 1/2 meg ohm resistor, or 1/2 million ohm. And one lead is clipped there. The other one, all I have to do is touch it to the other side. And what we're doing is we're putting one lead here and the other lead here, right across those two. You'll notice that this side right here is connected together. These two resistors are connected together right there. That's those two wires you see right there. There's one, there's the other. They go down and they're connected together. Alright, let's see what we get. We're looking for 500,000 ohms, or 1/2 meg. And this is what I'm getting. I'm getting 500 and about 580 or 90,000 ohms, all the way down to 5 About 520,000 ohms. I'm looking for 500,000, but that thing should not jump around like that. I don't know why it's doing that. So now the question becomes, what do we do? Do we change these two resistors out? I say yes. I want them gone. They're old. One of them's jumping around like crazy. I really don't know what's causing it. It may be something else. I need to get them out of there. The problem is they're really sandwiched in there tight. Now I have to find out what I can do about that. What can I do about that? Well, lucky me, I was able to get this nut loose. It didn't want to come loose on the other one too much, but I can get this second nut loose. This is the nut that hooks it to the chassis. This is the nut that holds everything on that center bolt. I got it loose, and I found that I have a little space now. Looky there. I can separate those a little bit. I have the space I need to get those two resistors out of there. Fantastic. Alright, the first resistor, the 1/2 meg, is in. Just a matter of clipping out the old one. It was a piece of cake. It just clipped right out. Then I put a coil on each end and hooked it up. And it's just waiting to be soldered right now. Now the 2 meg resistor is next, which is this one here. And of course, you know, there has to be a problem with it. This end snipped loose real easy, as you can tell. But the other end is soldered to a ring that goes around this screw, or this bolt that holds the whole mess to the chassis. So I've got to unsolder it from that ring. Also, this black wire has to be unsoldered also. And then a new one placed when I put the new resistor in. I'll solder a wire from this end of it, and a new black wire, and I'll run it up, solder it to there. Yeah, more fun and games. Alright, both resistors are now in. You can see them right down in that area there. 1 and 2. They went in nice and slick. And I just got done ohming out all the wires per the schematic right here inside the can. And everything checks out perfectly. Now to put it back in the can. Well, there it is. It was kind of a tight fit getting it back in there. You know, I had I had to put a little bit of extra liquid tape on the outside, so it took a little bit to get it back down in there. I didn't particularly like the way it fit that tight. However, it looks real good. It's fitting in there nice and snug now. So because it fit so tight, I had to re-ohm it a second time just to make sure everything was okay. Guess what? 100% good to go. No problem. So that's all done, and I went ahead and shined up our filter cans also. Got them looking real spiffy. Now, I'm not going to restuff these. I've decided I don't want to cut them open. And especially with this one just being a screw held on the chassis from the bottom with this large nut, it just wouldn't look good to have a piece of tape around there sealing that thing back together where I cut it open. I'm going to go ahead and just use a couple of terminal strips instead. If all goes well, next time we're going to go ahead and tear apart this old transformer, put some new wires in it, clean it up, paint it, make it look good. So I hope you're there. And I appreciate everyone once again stopping in to check and see what's going on with this project. And until next time, this is John.